Something like that.
What's up, fight fans? This is the Combat Connection. We are live on the Cageside Press social media platforms, and we have a loaded show for you today. UFC 322 coverage, and we also have an exciting fight night in Qatar this weekend, headlined by Arman Tsarukyan and Dan Hooker. Eddie, instant analysis and reactions from UFC 322. Islam Makhachev becomes the double champion at welterweight. Previously was at lightweight. That title is being held by Ilia Topuria. Currently a matchup that many fight fans would maybe like to see in the future. But Makhachev really put on a dominant performance against Jack. We thought Jack maybe would put up more resistance than he did in the takedown defense and give Islam some problems on the feet. But that is not what happened. Islam Makhachev basically took him down in every single round, controlled him, and got a dominant win here. Eddie, how impressed were you with the performance from Islam Makhachev?
Not impressed at all, because I expected that shit right there, right? Here's what I expected. And we talked about this last week, right? I knew Islam Makhachev is a striker too. He's very, very good striker. I wasn't worried about JDM doing jack on the feet. What I was worried about is him catching Islam with something, because Islam's been caught before. We know that. We've seen it before.
Yeah.
So that's what I was like, that may be the only way. Outside of that, the second he took him down, you see Jack's face, like he was like, this is different. This is not the same thing. This is not the wrestlers that I train with in during camp. So the second he got that first takedown, I was like, it's over. I'm done. It's done. It's done. I don't care if it takes all 5 rounds or if he gets finished. It is over.
Eddie, he seemed overwhelmed. And even in the corner in between rounds, there wasn't much technical advice given to him. There was motivation coming from the corner trying to get their fighter, their spirits up or something. But there was no technical advice coming for how to stop these takedowns. Is that something that you saw too?
100%. Like if because I would because I was doing the fight companion, I would mute myself in between rounds because I want to hear what they were saying. They weren't giving him shit, not at all. They were like, "Oh, no, what are they saying?" Like, they try to like cheer him up.
You keep rough him up, keep this thing standing. It's like,
come on, dog. What are you doing? Like, he's in a fight. Give him instructions on how to get up. I think the corners knew good and damn well JDM wasn't going to be able to beat him. I think they knew. Maybe JDM didn't know it, but I think his corners knew because they acted like 100. They acted like they were like, "Hey, we're just happy to be here. You can, you can be a champion and just be happy to be here."
And Eddie, we've seen 2 of the most dominant performances against reigning champions this year that we've seen in UFC history, with Khamzat Chimaev dethroning Dricus Du Plessis in the dominant fashion he did. A very similar circumstance this weekend with Islam Makhachev. I'll go through the striking statistics along with the control numbers here. 140 total strikes for Islam Makhachev to 30 for Jack Della Maddalena. Control time, 4 takedowns for Makhachev, racking up 19 minutes of control. Obviously, 0 control time there for Jack Della Maddalena, who largely fought this one off of his back. Eddie, Islam Makhachev, a lot's been made about pound for pound number 1. Is he the guy? Is Topuria the guy? Topuria has his belt currently. Where do you think Islam Makhachev should sit atop the pound for pound rankings?
I mean, I don't know how they do it in Dagestan, but hopefully at least a porta potty. As far as you're talking about pound for pound or overall,
here's a good point by Perlez. Yeah. I mean, he could get he could get knocked out if he fights Ilia Topuria, and I think that really is the number one that would determine who is the number 1 pound for pound in the entire world.
That is the fight I'm interested in. That's the only guy who I see giving them any issues. I do not care
at 170. I see Shavkat Rakhmonov giving him some issues, being 6'3", being hard to take down, and maybe 100%. Better on the feet than him. I think Shavkat might be the hardest man.
Yeah, but I'm talking about in terms of like for the pound for pound, right? Yeah, Shavkat's not in there. Like, no. If you're talking about just 170, just like one. I forgot how I talk to you all the time on Twitter. I never know what to call you, but anyway, just like he said right there, he at 170, I'm with you, Shavkat all day. That's the fight. But if you're talking about pound for pound, a fight we all want to see, a banger of a fight, Ilia. Because who knows what's going to happen, right? If Ilia lands on him clean, oh, dude, I want to see what Islam does when his legs get wobbly. It'll be interesting to see. But in terms of JDM, real quick, because I want to say this is not a hot take. I do not care what anyone says right now. Y'all can get mad at me if you want to. JDM was overrated. And I'm not saying that in a derogatory way in terms of like, oh, he ain't shit. He can't fight. He's not good. No, JDM is great. He's an amazing fighter. That's how much better Islam is than everybody else. That's how much better he is. So when JDM beat Belal, I was like, yeah, he won't defend it. Not once. Especially if Islam comes up. Because JDM to me was just it just tells you where Belal is too, right?
He's very one-dimensional for a champion, right? And he's a guy like Robbie Lawler who's a slugger, right? He goes in there, he wants to make fights dirty, and he's not necessarily the greatest on the ground. So it's like, I mean, we've seen his style before, but we know what the kryptonite is to that style, and certainly the grappling of Islam Makhachev. But Eddie, as this guy asked, I think that Shavkat right now is the toughest test for him at 170. Is that kind of what you see too?
That's what I want to see. If we're staying 170, we're not trying to make super fights and stuff. 100% Shavkat, because Shavkat, like you said, taller, longer, real hard to take down. I want to see if Islam can do it, which I think he could. It won't look like anything we saw on Saturday, but I want to see if he can do it. And if he can do it, then it'll be a barn burner of sorts on the ground at least. But I want to see what Shavkat can do against this dude. Shavkat knows it. Shavkat knows he's the tough test. Now, Shavkat, is he still injured, or is he coming back from injury right now?
I don't think he's booked up against anybody, but he was injured for a little bit of time there. You're right.
All right, well, then
and we got a big welterweight fight we're going to talk about later in the show coming this weekend between Gary and Belal Muhammad. So,
yeah, and Gary, I don't know if you saw any of the media day stuff, but Gary's already talking. He's already talking, so it's going to be good.
Yeah. So for Islam Makhachev, very impressive performance of him becoming a double champion, something that his mentor and trainer Khabib Nurmagomedov never attempted and did not do. So Islam Makhachev, according to some people, is moving up that GOAT ranking, and maybe by the end of his career, he'll be up there in that upper echelon with his trainer, Khabib Nurmagomedov. But Eddie, we're going to move along here. We've got a lot to talk about on this show to the second title fight at UFC 322. Valentina Shevchenko turned back Weili Zhang as she moved up from 115 pounds to 125 pounds. And Eddie, to me, it really seemed like Shevchenko was the bigger girl. Now Weili was aggressive. She tried to get inside like we thought in the pre-fight analysis that, how this was going to work. But Shevchenko blasted her with a jab, blasted her with a straight left hand. And when it got close to the fence, Shevchenko was the one that really won a lot of the clinch work and the grappling. So what did you think of Shevchenko's performance here against Weili Zhang, kind of showing she's a cut above those girls over at 115?
I said it last week, Bullet has been the 125 champ for so long that she just has that thing on lockdown. She could almost show up on automatic and beat whoever she wants. There's really nobody at 25, by the way, that really is going to give her any problems, right? She named Natalia. She named Erin Blanchfield. Say what you want about Erin Blanchfield. She's not beating Bullet. If all she has is wrestling, game. I'm sorry, Erin. Nah, not happening. Tracy would have had less of a chance against Bullet. It would have been striking. It would have been fun. But Tracy gets taken down and control at that point, just like Aaron did to her this weekend. So, whatever on that point. But in terms of Weili,
Natalia Silva, the girl who faced off with her,
I would hate to have her get her face knocked off by Bullet, because that's what's going to happen.
Quick though, on the feet, she gets in and out 100%. Of range real good.
But again, Bullet's not at that point where she's like washed, like idiots say. Who fucking washed? I hate that saying. It's the dumbest thing to say about a human being, first of all. But like, Bullet's not there yet. Bullet is still in her prime. And again, that she's so just a cut above every single girl. For Natalia Silva to be able to win, she's got it. She's gonna have to like physically change, right? Bullet, strong, fast, strong, gas tank, strong. Did I mention freaking strong? Because Weili's strong. Oh, very long. Weili's strong. Bullet, clearly stronger. There was a couple times Weili got in on entries for takedowns, and what did Valentina do? Whizzer, and just literally just like leg under hers, threw her over. She did 3 times, ended up on top.
5 takedowns landed for Valentina, good for 13 minutes of control time. The striking statistics in this one, fight fans, 137 total strikes for Valentina Shevchenko, 80 for Weili Zhang. So she was the more accurate fighter on the feet and also won the grappling exchanges when the fight hit the floor.
No, Weili at one point got super discouraged even on the feet. She cannot, she realized, I'm not doing nothing here. Right. And so at that point, you can see her discouraged in her face. Like when a champion, real quick, when a champion like Bullet and a champion like Islam makes their opponent's face change, not physically, but their demeanor's gone after the first round, that says everything you need to know about these two. This was a card of just kind of crowning all-time champions, because that's what these two are.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment 100%. But great win for Valentina Shevchenko, 50-45 across all scorecards. That's how I had it as well. Seemed really locked in this whole fight week and ready. She knew what this meant for her career, especially after those Amanda Nunes.
Hey.
She tried to move up. She wanted to get the victory in this double champion matchup.
Yeah, I will say this: the glasses ain't it, dog. Like,
nah,
she had the I just got LASIK glasses on and shit.
You should have gave those to RoboCop.
Give it to somebody else, anybody, but don't wear them, Bullet. Nah, man, no. Get you some Oakleys, some what are the one the pilots called? What do they call them?
Aviators.
Get you some aviators. Aviators are perfect for.
They're sponsored by the UFC as well.
There you go. Get you some aviators.
We did in Chicago. I was like 15 years old and they fought, and Valentina beat her by a decision. It was like 48-47.
For some reason, an incredibly forgettable fight.
Yeah, but a not incredibly forgettable fight is the one we're going to talk about here coming up. Sean Brady versus Michael Morales. Sean Brady came into this one as a betting favorite. I think me and Eddie both might have taken Sean Brady. Did you take Sean Brady last weekend, Eddie?
I did.
Yeah, and man, I thought that he was going to be able to use his grappling here, but 0 of 1 on the takedowns, and he didn't really attempt a takedown until he was already hurt. Eddie, I'll tell you what, I knew there was going to be a problem when he walked in with double knee braces. I've not seen Sean Brady fight with double knee braces. He walks in like an old man. It doesn't make a whole bunch of sense to me, but maybe he had an injury, and it kind of looked like that. He didn't get in on Michael Morales like we've seen. We don't see him. Normally, when we see Sean Brady fight, like when we saw him versus Leon Edwards, he's shooting on his knees across the cage. He's going for double and triple takedown attempts. Like this guy is trying to get the fight to the floor at any means necessary. He stood and struck with Michael Morales. I don't know why, for a minute and a half before he got popped, and then he wants to initiate the clinch, and he's too hurt to get the fight to the floor at that point in time. And Michael Morales has great hips. He's one of the best athletes. He's probably the best athlete in this weight class. And he's a guy that's hard to take to the ground to begin with, and we found that out on Saturday. So for Michael Morales, I thought this was a real coming out party for him and showed his skill set. But for Sean Brady, it also, at the same turn, shows his limitations at times. Sean
Brady got JoJo Wooded. We're not talking about JoJo Woods supposed to fight for the title. That fight felt, I think the champ got hurt. She's like, I'll just take a fight. Meanwhile, got her ass beat, lost her shine, never got to fight for a title. That's exactly what just happened to Sean Brady. And I'm saying he's never going to fight for the title because 170 is crazy. But that's the problem. Is 170 is crazy stacked. He's already back, maybe not back in line, but he's definitely halfway back in line at least. Going in there with the 2 knee braces told me 2 things. One, this dude's injured, 100%. Not okay to fight. Still doing this, hey, badass and everything, but badass doesn't get you wins and definitely doesn't get you grace with the UFC. Second, what it told me is stop talking about Michael Morales like he's gonna be able to beat Islam. All right. He didn't get taken down by a 40%, maybe 30% Sean Brady. All right. A 30%, 40% Islam takes Michael Morales down. I don't care how athletic he is. That dude, it would be a great fight in terms of like for the first couple rounds. Because Michael Morales is that
big, Eddie. He is
super big, super athletic, 100%. But Islam has not met someone he can't take down, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and
when
again,
I don't. Islam and Hamza, it's like it's like you got to see it to believe it. You got to see someone stop these takedowns. You got to see someone, beat one of these guys, and overcome their number. Here's the thing with Islam and Hamza: you can't get past their first game plan. They've never had to go fight with game plan B or game plan C because game plan A works every single time. So I don't know. Maybe Michael Morales would get there and give Islam a new look because he's bigger and harder to get to the ground. He's got good hips and he's athletic. Listen, I think Michael Morales, if he was born in America, would be like a starting safety in the NFL. He'd be a short
hell yeah.
Baseball. He's an incredible athlete. But, I don't know if the grappling's as good as Islam Makhachev, and maybe we'll find out in short order, Eddie. But for Michael Morales, I thought this was obviously the biggest win of his career.
Amazing win.
Like you were saying for Sean Brady, though, he's probably to the back of the queue here. I don't know.
Major setback. Again, this is why it bothers me when fighters are like, oh, well, you can't believe he pulled out. He's a pansy. Oh, he has a little injury. No, he just didn't want to risk everything. Everyone look, Arman Tsarukyan is a different situation in terms of because he kind of did it to himself. But in a similar fashion, that guy was like, dude, I don't want to screw my title shot up. If I pull out because I'm injured, cool, I'm back maybe a couple spots, right? Yeah. I have to fight a couple guys, get a couple good impressive wins, great. But I'm Arman Tsarukyan. I'm a bad MFer. I could definitely do that, right? But Sean Brady don't have that because he fought injured, and it doesn't matter. An L is a freaking L. So now he's got to hope that someone falls out or something happens where he can step in.
Yeah, and I was confused kind of why he took this fight to begin with. When you look at him and RDR, I hope that young fighters learn from both those guys over the last month and a half, because I think that they both could have had title opportunities if they would have sat and waited, for the champion to get done with their, current situation. But Eddie, we got to move along down the card here. Another welterweight matchup, and honestly, I think Carlos Prates here has a stake for a claim for the throne at 170 pounds, more so than Michael Morales. He's fought better competition, and as of last weekend, he is now the first man to ever knock out Leon Edwards. So it was a straight left hand right down the pipe in round 2. It was beautiful. Edwards was out before he hit the floor, followed up with a couple ground and pound strikes. But Carlos Prates is one of the most devastating strikers we've seen at 170 pounds in UFC history. And, he's a guy that is as far as on the feet, it's hard for you to go and get training partners to implement his style. And, he's just very devastating on the feet. You can't make any wrong, moves or anything like that. And for Leon Edwards, it was the same thing we thought, Eddie. The output wasn't there. The volume in Carlos Prates landed more strikes and looked like the more aggressive fighter the entire time before the knockout even happened. What did you think about this performance from Prates and how he's done since the loss to Ian Gary last year?
It's a Carlos Prates original. That's what he does, right? He's aggressive, but he's accurate, and he times very well. And he timed Leon Edwards very well with Leon threw a kick or something, and then the left hand came down the middle, right?
Yeah.
There you go. Perfect timing, perfect placement on the shot, and he flatlined a former champion. That is the key here, people. He flatlined a champion that's never been knocked out before and left him passed out on the ground. When Leon came to, he kind of sat up, kind of arms on his knees, and he's looking down. You can see in his face, he's like, holy crap. Kryptonite just showed up. My shield's gone. The glass jaw. I'm not saying he has a glass jaw, but once you bust that jaw, once you get knocked out, that thing's a little more susceptible to knockout. That's just what happened.
Absolutely. And Eddie, if you think about it, it was a similar punch to the one he got stung with by Nate Diaz in that fight. Right. The straight left hand that rocked him. Obviously, Carlos probably hits a little harder than Nate Diaz, and we saw the end result there, but maybe he was susceptible to that shot.
No, he was. He definitely was. And so it's I don't know, man. Nate did rock him.
Carlos Prates, Michael Morales, Eddie. Which one deserves the title shot if it's up to you?
Carlos.
I do too. I think it's Carlos, man. He just knocked out Jeff Neal. Now, listen, Michael Morales looked good for one night, and he might have looked as good as anybody we've ever seen at 170 pounds on that one night. But Carlos Prates has sat here and put on, in my opinion, back-to-back knockout of the year contenders with the spinning elbow over Jeff Neal in Chicago.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, you covered that fight.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Weekend, man, he's on a roll right now, and I think he's somebody the fan base can kind of get.
Dude, came into the media room smoking a cigarette. That shit was hilarious. Yeah. Yeah, dude, 2 in a row. And it was funny because Leon in the lead up to this one was like, I don't know. They were like, did you watch, they were asking him, like, did you watch, Carlos' last fight with Jeff Neal? He goes, yeah, man, I don't know what Jeff Neal was thinking. Boy, I don't know what you was thinking. Damn. Talk about eating your words.
Stuck standing there looking.
Same way, dude. Same way. Carlos is a problem. And he learned a lot from that Ian Gary fight. And we might see that one rematch at some point.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it, man. It was 3-2, and in that 5th round, Carlos Prates had him scrambling around on the floor. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a good look for Ian Gary, but great win for Carlos Prates. Nate would say.
I would love if that happened, but
hey, Marlboro versus THC. We'll see.
There you go.
Somebody's smoking for sure, though. But Eddie, in this next one, Benoit Saint Denis smoked Beneil Dariush in 16 seconds here. This was one-way traffic. And for Beneil, he's been knocked out in the first round 3 times recently in under a minute, at least twice. I think maybe all 3 times he's been knocked out under a minute. For me, this is very concerning for Beneil, who is 37 years of age right now and hasn't really had any offensive – he hasn't had anything going for him offensively, right? Like, he's been finished in consecutive fights, and I think that Benoit Saint Denis is a good contender, but he's shown that he's not a top 5 level guy right now. He got knocked out by Dustin Poirier when he made his first title run, and he showed some of the defensive lapses that he has on the feet in that one. But right here, Eddie, I just thought that he was younger, faster, more aggressive, and he's a better fighter right now than Beneil Dariush is. And Dariush isn't going to be able to get him to the ground. So I always thought that this was set up for Benoit to look good in this one. I think we both picked him coming into it last week.
100%. Yeah, you're probably too young. You know who Boyz II Men is?
No.
Okay, Boyz II Men is an R&B group from the 80s and 90s. Okay, I'm old, sorry. But they have a song, and I'm sure they're not the ones that came up with. Maybe it was, but as soon as when Dariush got knocked the fuck out, the song that popped in my head was "How Do I Say Goodbye?" Like the whole time, I'm like, "We hardly knew ye, Beneil Dariush. It is over, my guy. It is done. You can keep on fighting, collect your checks, 100%, do your thing, especially because you love it. But in terms of Beneil Dariush ever making it up any kind of ranking, BSD put a stamp on that thing. It is over. Meanwhile, BSD just showed that he'll take on anybody, anytime, anywhere. And Dariush, who we thought was going to give him at least a little bit of a problem, gave him zero problems. In fact, he lasted 16 seconds. Is what it is.
Yeah, and Eddie, for me, at 155 pounds, there's a lot of guys that Benoit Saint Denis could fight. I might be want to see him fight a guy like Ignacio Bahamondes or Jalen Turner.
Ooh, Bahamondes all day. If you want, we're talking like a move up in the rankings type of move. Like, and that would be an impressive fight. You impress me more if you beat Bahamondes than if you beat Jalen, because Jalen just quit. I know,
and I think. You're right, he did. But both of those guys, I feel like would have put up a better fight than Dariush did last weekend.
100%.
Regardless of what the rankings are.
Without question. With Jalen Turner stepping in this one, this would have been a massive, like a way better fight. And Jalen's coming back. I believe he just got booked for a fight. But he quit, right? When you quit the way he did, and I don't want, and I'm trying not to say quit in a way that makes him sound like he's some kind of punk, because he's not, right? Every fighter puts every emotion they have into their fight. If they lose, they feel some type of way. Sometimes they make harsh decisions. That's what I think is what happened with Jalen Turner. Realized he was wrong. He wanted to keep going. He's back. But you cannot quit and come back and think you're going to beat a guy like BSD, who is just balls deep in the game right now. I can't do it. Yeah.
Maybe give a guy who's, bigger than him, 6'3". I know lightweight has a lot of those taller characters. They're less than 185 pounds, littered throughout the
I'll tell you about a 6'6" welterweight that's fighting on Friday, but I'll tell you at the end of the show, because holy shit.
LFA?
Oh my God. Yes. He's tall. But I'll give you a couple of details at the end of the show before we get off here.
Another knockout that we had last weekend, Eddie. I mean, these three fights in a row were all action. This was great seeing these three fights back to back here. But Bo Nickal shuts up the doubters and gets a head kick knockout over Rodolfo Vieira in round three. For the first two rounds, Eddie, it wasn't the most technical thing we've ever seen on the feet, right? Like, no, it was sloppy. It is what it is. We know they're both grapplers. They're both very good on the ground. But Bo Nickal did get this done by head kick. Vieira did not see it coming. Kind of looked like he thought it might be going to the body, came upstairs over the hands, clipped him on the head, and he was out before he hit the floor. Best knockout and best win in the career of Bo Nickal here. Do you think he has silenced the doubters from the RDR fight? And what do you think of his potential moving forward? Obviously, it was hindered a little bit with the RDR fight. People thought he might be an undefeated champion, go up there. He was talking about fighting Hamzat, and, maybe it was a little over his skis there, Eddie. But do you think the hype train might be back on track now after last weekend?
Hell no. Hell no. All right. First of all, Vieira got set up. He got set up. The UFC knew this was going to happen. They knew, look, on the ground with a ground and pound or something, or on the feet, both getting a knockout. We're getting our return on investment by fake hyping this guy up, and great. What made me laugh and honestly irritated the crap out of me was Bo afterwards. It's like, oh, you guys were mean to me. You said mean things about me I lost the last fight. You said mean things. But then he comes out calling people snowflakes and shit. Like, dude, you're full of it. Stop. Be yourself. Don't be this fake persona that you brought up before. Talking about, I'm going to be an undefeated fighter. I don't want Hamza. Instead, he comes out like, oh, you New York, you guys were mean to me. Now you booed me. Now you're cheering. Look, dude, you changed the game. The best thing the fighter can do is go and getting booed and get cheered on the way out. Shut the hell up and take the dub. But he thinks that these three big wins prove he's in the fluke.
I think so too.
He needs to fight.
I think this was one of them, and then I think he needs to move up a little bit in comp here. He needs to fight somebody his own age. I'll let you make your point, Eddie. But I've got a really good name that I think he should fight next.
Yeah. So 100% with this, he needs to fight someone that we think is gonna beat him. He needs to beat them. All right. You want to impress me, Bo? You want me to get past your crying and bitching and all that? Oh, you hurt my feelings, garbage. Great. Beat someone that should beat you. That's how you show improvement. That's how you show that you evolve. That's how you show that you belong in the top 10, top 15. Otherwise, shut the hell up. Go do RF, whatever you're doing that's wrestling and all that stuff. And just, do your thing, little pitter patters with people.
I got a name for you, Eddie.
Real quick. The UFC is not going to set you up with grapplers who can get knocked out every single freaking fight until you get to a title shot. Because if you ever get to that title shot, you will get wrecked. 100%. Who's the name?
Absolutely. And one thing, though, there's one guy he would be a betting underdog against, one guy that's his age, from the same state even. It'd be white collar versus blue collar a little bit.
Ooh,
but there's
let's go.
two favorite guys on the roster, Eddie. Joe Pyfer and Bo Nick. Has to happen.
Be Joe Pyfer. I will be on Joe Pyfer's bandwagon so fast that happens. Why? Because I think Joe Pyfer sleeps homeboy. But if Bo beats him, that's the win he needs to get some kind of legitimacy. Because Joe Pyfer's a mother effer, dude. He's so crazy.
One kid who was on scholarship at Penn State, another kid who was homeless on the streets of Pittsburgh or where Philadelphia, whatever town, I believe it was one of those two towns over there in Pennsylvania. I think that's a great matchup, and both of those guys would have a chip on their shoulder coming into it. Would be a little bad blood and an American matchup too. Sean
Shelby and McMahon better watch their backs. So you're gunning for their jobs because they ain't making that matchup. They ain't making. You need to make that matchup 100%. That is a fight, dude. You know what? That's a fight right there. You know, hey, everybody on here and everyone that sees this video for the next how many ever months of shit like that, if it pops up on your feed, hopefully it does. So first of all, hit subscribe, hit like, leave a comment, but start tweeting at Dana and Mick and Sean. We want Bo and Joe. Make it happen. Bo versus Joe.
Yep.
Make it happen. At the White House. At the White House.
That'd be great, Eddie.
Why not?
That's the fight, man. That's the fight.
The haves to the have-nots. Haves versus have-nots. Let's go. Robin Hood. Joe Pyfer, Robin Hood.
Staying in the middleweight division here, we had Roman Kopylov versus Gregory Rodrigues. RoboCop is coming off that big win over Jack Hermanson, who we're going to talk about later in the show and is moving down to welterweight. But Gregory Rodrigues here gets another win over Roman Kopylov. And Eddie, this is kind of how we predicted. Roman Kopylov was made to fight off the back foot against Paulo Costa. Gregory Rodrigues is more aggressive than Paulo Costa and is also a little bit better on the ground. So, Eddie, I think that Roman – he's got weaknesses in his game that he's going to have to go back with his team and fix before he moves up the rankings here. Is he going to look good against other strikers? Yes. But is he going to look good against guys who put him on the back foot or the aggressor and also have that grappling background? I think he's going to really struggle as he moves up against guys like Gregory Rodrigues, Joe Pyfer, who we just mentioned, Imavov, guys like that. I just don't see Roman Kopylov competing.
When Roman felt the power of RoboCop, like his face changed, his demeanor changed. It was over. He knew it was like, oh shit. You saw him second guess everything, back foot the whole time, trying to get lateral. And RoboCop was like, nah, I know how to cut you off, bro. You ain't going nowhere. And slaps him, right? Or not slapped him, but beat his ass. Really, he should have slapped him. I thought he would have. But Roman Kopylov, and I'm not saying leave your gym. I'm saying travel for like 6 months, hit gym after gym, get guys that are higher level than you, because I am willing to bet that Roman Kopylov does not have anybody that's better than him at his gym, because this fight showed it. Because if there was, he would have beaten RoboCop. I thought Roman was going to win. I thought that before the fight, I was like, younger, on the come up, and RoboCop's gotten hurt a couple times now. He's lost a couple fights here. He's steam is kind of off. He's a little older, obviously, but no, that's not what happened. The wisdom took over, and he fought like a vet.
Yeah, and Gregory has looked as good in these last two fights as he's looked his whole UFC career, and I'm really interested. Even at his age, I feel like he's one of these guys that's a freak of nature, like Yoel Romero or Randy Couture, that's going to be able to fight into his 40s, especially due to the power in his hands and the skills with the grappling. So Gregory Rodrigues maybe is moving up, making a push here late in his career, up the rankings here at 185 pounds. But Eddie, like you said, Roman Kopylov, I don't know where he goes from here. I hope they keep him around. I think they will, but I don't think he needs to be fighting inside the top 15. Going forward, and I think there needs to be a step back probably in competition.
Just go travel the world for a little bit, dude. Do 6 months. Leave someone at your gym training. I think he owns his own gym. I can't remember, but go see somebody, bro. You know what? Head over to my guys at Bloodline in California. All right, they're all lighter and everything, but they got great striking coaching. 100%. Go watch those guys, especially if it's lay hand and everything. Otherwise, go hit up, just whoever has 85ers that are better than you, that are better than you. Go do that.
I mean, go to Extreme Couture with Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland puts guys on the back foot. That's what he does. If you could see that look every single day in practice, maybe that would help you come fight night, seeing it from other guys who don't do it as well as Sean Strickland. Agreed. But Eddie, here we had a ranked matchup between Aaron Blanchfield and Tracy Cortez. Aaron Blanchfield was able to secure a submission victory here in the second round, grabbed the neck of Tracy Cortez really out of nowhere. It was kind of a back and forth fight, 65-50 on the total striking statistics before Blanchfield grabbed the neck here. Blanchfield is as good as they come with the grappling and on the ground. We saw her put Molly McCann in that crucifix position. She can get it done TKO. She can get it done submission as well. Now, Eddie, here's the thing for me. I think she's a little undersized against the Manon Farrows, against the Valentina Shevchenkos. When you look at the top of the spear of this division, I just don't know if she can physically get these other girls to the ground to get it to where she has the advantage.
No, I don't think so either. I don't think she takes out Bullet. I don't think she takes out. Oh, maybe she might take it off Ferrero, but she won't hold her there. I don't know who else, dude. The thing about this fight with Tracy and Aaron is we know who Tracy or know who Aaron is, right? Wrestler, grinder, tough out. Obviously, I think East Coast girl. Yeah, definitely East Coast girl. Yeah. So she's got that mental toughness of having to grow up in the freezing cold. Tracy, we don't know. We can't really tell anybody who she is, right? We can't really tell you what her style is. Can she wrestle? Yes. Can she strike? Yes. What does she do better than anybody else? There isn't anything. Yeah, you're right. Because it's certain. Look, and no disrespect to Tracy. It's just analysis, chick. All right, I'm sorry, but what she doesn't do is put it all together, and that's what showed on Saturday. Could not put it all together. Right. And Aaron came back, chip on her shoulder, take it. She said, she's like, oh, no, I don't think about it. No, you definitely got your revenge on that one. You were thinking about that fight back in the day in Invicta. Because
Blanchfield's a psycho, bro. She's a competitor.
Her and Fatima Klein, those are great training partners. Fucking trailers. Anyway, yeah, you're not wrong. Anyway, but the point is this: is for Aaron. The climb to the title is incredibly steep, very steep. She's not getting a title shot next,
especially having lost to Manon Ferro 2 fights ago, right? So that's
what I'm saying. So it's gonna be hard for them to give her a title shot. They might give it to her just because she's the only one, right? Although Natalia Silva's already ready to go, and I think that'd be a more exciting fight than Aaron and Bullet personally. But in terms of Tracy, this is one of those things where it's like she's gonna have to go back to the drawing board and think, okay, what do I really want to do? Because I couldn't get past the girl that I already beat before, which again, that fight back in Invicta arguably should have gone Aaron's way. If you watch it, if you go back and watch it, I think you'd agree. But she couldn't beat her, and she's not even like what was she number 1, number 2 rank?
You're talking about Tracy here, or
yeah, Aaron.
Aaron was 3, I believe.
Can't be the number 3, right? Now I'm saying that doesn't mean everything because obviously matchups, styles make fights and all this other stuff. But once you get past that into that top 5 matchups and everything, everyone's really good, and you couldn't get past the girl you beat already. It's a hard pill to swallow for sure. I want to see Tracy come back, not take too long off, right? Lower level, obviously, just like you always say, take a step back in competition, 100%. But you need to show me that you are a killer. Like you need to come in and destroy whoever it is. It just cannot go to decision. You need to go to start like choking and knocking girls out.
I want to see her fight Alexa Grasso. It's not a step back in competition, but I wouldn't mind seeing Alexa Grasso fight one of these two girls. Either.
UFC Mexico, someone make it happen. That'd be a big time fight.
Mm-hmm. Eddie, one fight that we got to talk about. Malcolm Wellmaker was a big time favorite coming into last weekend, the biggest on the card, but he took on Ethan Ewing, and Ewing was able to pull an upset. 29-28 on the judges' scorecards, unanimous decision, 99 total strikes in favor of Ewing, 82 for Wellmaker. Wellmaker was trying to load up on that big right-hand counter that he's hit Cameron Simon with and other people in the past. Ewing actually got hit with it in the first round and knocked down, but he fought through it and won the 2 rounds after that, rounds 2 and 3. For this kid to come in on a week's notice, fight an upstart guy like Malcolm Wellmaker with 1-punch knockout power, get hit with that big punch that everybody's been talking about and everybody's been getting put down by, to walk through that and win the next 2 and 3 rounds. I thought that Ewing put on one of the best performances of the year that I've seen from a guy making his debut or overall. I thought that this was really a standout performance from Ethan Ewing, who I had not had the privilege of seeing fight before this weekend.
Sean Bitter, our own Sean Bitter, Cageside Press, called this shit way ahead of time. He said this was going to happen. He said, Wellmaker don't want that smoke. And he did not want that smoke. Sorry, my kid just came out to me and said there's like a bunch of like loud ass noises outside. It is coming down in Arizona or Phoenix.
You're talking about rain or snow?
Yeah, it's crazy. No, we don't get snow here ever. But like rain, it's coming down hard. Like I'm gonna have to go check on the outside of the house, make sure there's no that puddles and shit, floods and everything. But anyway, it's not a big deal. It'll be easy. There usually isn't. They usually last like 2 seconds and it's over. Anyway,
were you surprised by Ewing at all?
Yes, I fuck, dude. Really? I listened to what Sean. I read what Sean wrote, right? And I was like, okay, I guess, but this is fucking Malcolm Wellmaker. He's a sniper. He's a killer. When he came in and made Malcolm fight like not Malcolm, I was impressive. I'm like, dude, like after the first round, I'm like, I think I tweeted out, I was like, I don't care how this fight ends. This kid belongs in the UFC, and he's fighting a division up. This dude's a bantamweight, dude. He is a 135er. Ooh, he's a badass dude. Dude, complete fighter. He showed every skill you want out of somebody that can become a contender in your division, right? Showed everything. And but most of all, that grit. Dude fought like 2 days or something like that, or he fought like days before this fight, and came in and made it look like he hadn't fought, and he hadn't fought, and he was fresh. It was so great. And honestly, I love stories like his. It's a great story for Malcolm Wallmaker. Now you know what we need to work on. Get to it and come back strong. Maybe get that rematch here in a year or two.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate, man. I feel like Wellmaker maybe drank a little bit of his own Kool-Aid and thought, I've been putting everybody out with this big punch. Everybody's been going down to my right hook. If I hit this kid with it, he's going to go down too. He's only in here on a week's notice. He's a weight class lower. There's no way he can take my punch.
You got to land it.
He hit him with the punch, and he took it, and then it looked like Wellmaker was deflated. After that, he was only throwing one punch at a time. Ethan was actually walking him down, who we haven't seen Wellmaker fight off the back foot. He's been, Cameron Simon, all these guys, they're scared to engage with him previously in the last couple contests. But Ethan Ewing definitely was not. And he went in there and made a statement, a big win for him in his career. Now, Eddie, do you want to see him move back down in weight to his natural weight class? Or after the win right here, he just took out one of the most promising guys in this weight class. Which one would you like to see him at?
So in the post fight, Dylan Napoleon was there, so I got the privilege of doing his write up for the post fight interview. He said he's going back to bantamweight. He's 35 or so. That's what's happening. However, that's probably where he belongs, right? Like Malcolm Wallmaker is not a big, like he's kind of a somewhat undersized featherweight too, I think. So if you put him against like a normal size featherweight or a tall one, like Ethan would look tiny. So no, go back to 35. You use all those skill set and the size and the strength and everything at 35, which that's what the fight that he I think that's the weight that he fought at before he fought Malcolm. But no, dude, I just want to see what he does at 35, man. Just go back to your division, make it happen. And if let's say he's dominant at 35, we'll be excited to see him at 45. Why not? But it's great to have almost accidentally brought in some real talent to the UFC.
Yeah, and it reminds me of? It reminds me of Diego Lopez when he had to come in and fill in against Movsar Evloev. Everybody's like, oh, this guy's going to get ran through. And then, this guy's our new contender. He's really good. Look at him. He's got skills. So I think that Ethan Ewing made a lot of fans last weekend and also impressed the promotion. But, Eddie, we got a lot to talk about, including our fight night picks coming up for this weekend in the Middle East. But we're going to talk a little bit about the news that's been coming on in the MMA world. PFL had some announcements, shows in U.S. cities. I believe they announced 16 events across the world next year, 10 in United States cities. The first two of those being in Pittsburgh and Chicago. No tournament this year. A new CEO, I believe his name is Jonathan Martin. Eddie, I mean, can you give these guys a fresh start and a new look? Do you trust them here coming in 2026 with some of the fighters they have on the roster? I do think that they still have some pretty good talent over there. You
think maybe Don accidentally watched this? Because we've been saying forever. Hey, bud, hire someone who knows what they're doing and shut the fuck up. And sit back and just write checks and fuck off, dude. Just do that, please.
Yeah.
Because this guy just made PFL look competent, which is really hard to do. I think we could all agree on that. It's really hard to make PFL look like they know what the hell they're doing. Get rid of the tournament. I know it rubbed some people the wrong way because that's what made PFL unique. But was it unique? Bellator did that. Not unique at all. Okay. Pride. I did other promotions.
Pride did it before any of them. Yeah.
Exactly. Not a unique thing. It won't make you special. Get over it. What will make you special is making sure every fight you put together is well matched up. That's what John seems to be wanting to do. So, hey, there you go, Don. You did the one good thing. Number two, move coach to do something else, dog, because I don't – nah, come on, man.
This John Martin dude's been showing up at a lot of stuff. He's been doing media appearances. I think he'll come. Dude, I think he'll come and answer questions after the show.
This guy might have a pair. This dude might have a pair. So awesome. Let's do it, right? Finally get someone that can answer some questions. We can get a little bit more focus because one of the many problems that PFL has up until now maybe is the fact that they wouldn't tell you anything, right?
No,
so
exactly.
allowed us to continue with this narrative, right? That may or may not be true. What we believe is true because that's all we can go off is what we're told and what we see. And what we see is incompetence, 100%. John's coming to change that up. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm excited about it. Now Pittsburgh, weird, but okay. Pittsburgh, fine. Okay.
Pittsburgh is where Dalton Ross is from.
Oh, he's gonna be in the card then.
Yeah.
I swear, dude, is damn. Who's the defensive end for the Steelers? The scary ass one. Probably one of my favorite players ever. Although I hate him because he beat the Cardinals.
James Harrison?
Thank you, James Harrison. If he's not there walking him out in this fight, I'm going to be disappointed.
Yeah, I talked to him about that. They're good lifters.
Yeah, they're boys. They're boys,
Yeah, so, I mean, for the PFL, last year I thought they made some new stars, right? Like Fabian Edwards, that head kick over Dalton Rosta, that was big. I like the Carlos Jr. fight with Sullivan Cauley. I thought Sullivan Cauley put on a really good performance across the tournament, beat Phil Davis, had a big win over Alex Polizzi as well. So I'm interested to see Sullivan Cauley. I'm interested to see Dakota Ditcheva, Dalton Rosta, a lot of the guys that they still have on the roster over there. Godzi Rabadanov, who I thought got absolutely hosed in that tournament final against Alfie Davis, but that's for another day. But Eddie, yeah, I think they deserve a fresh start coming next year, and I'm excited to see what they do moving forward.
Yeah, man, like I said, it's like they're trying to do something competent, and I'm all for it. Right, real quick, because Paralys just asked, is the GFL officially dead? They say no. They say to the athletes, fans, and partners, thank you for your patience and support. We've been hard at work and look forward to sharing what's next. Stay tuned. Come to more to come on our plans for 2026. Tweeted it out October 5th. So are they officially dead?
To rally around investors and get money and that sort of stuff. Like I bet they just don't have the funds for it right now, and they're trying to call people to get investors.
Or someone drank a few and it was like, I'll just tweet some shit out. Why not? I don't know.
Yeah, let's rile people up. But Eddie, let's talk about the Dylan Dennis brawl that's been hitting the internet by storm. This guy he took on the entire Russian team over there. It looked like. Now, obviously, there was some bad blood between Khabib and Dylan Dennis going back to the Conor McGregor fight. Jumped the cage, went over there, attacked Dylan Dennis. But Dana kind of addressed this at the post-fight press conference, saying he didn't even think of it at first. He was trying to get Jorge Masvidal away from Dylan Dennis, and then the Russians started going at Dylan Dennis. So he has banned Dylan Dennis from any UFC events moving forward, which I don't think he'll be fighting in the UFC due to lack of skill or anything.
Yeah.
But what did you think of the whole thing? He's causing shit in the promotion he's never even fought for or been involved in other than cornering. I think he deserves to be banned. And if I'm a paying customer in there, I don't want that shit around me. I don't want to be involved with that. How do you get Robert Kraft and people? Listen, Robert Kraft was there when McGregor fought Khabib. Tom Brady was there when McGregor. Do you think those guys felt safe when they started having Russians coming over and coming all over the bodies and melee stabbing it? There's no way. So you want to get influential people like Mark Zuckerberg and Robert Kraft and people at your fights. You can't have goons like Dylan Dennis starting shit every time they show up to your event. So I like that they banned him.
I'm going to go the other way. I wish they wouldn't have banned him. Can you imagine Dylan Nash shows up to every event and just gets his ass whipped every time? It'd be exactly every brawler is good. It would be odd. Dude, the entertainment value of seeing someone as irritating as Dylan Dennis to get his butt whooped, it would only be surpassed if Jake Paul started showing up, starting stuff at UFC events and got his ass whooped by like DC who told him, hey,
he might get his ass whooped by Joshua coming up.
Shoot, you hope? I have zero faith in that.
There's no way he's going into that. He's gonna be like, oh, it's signed to make himself look like a badass. 0% chance he steps in the ring against Anthony Joshua.
No, I'm telling you right now, he'll step in there. There'll be a non-written agreement to let me just make it a distance, okay? Because what's Jake gonna do? He's gonna make a distance with Adrian. I'm legit, guys. I lost, but I made a distance with a former heavyweight champion. You weren't supposed to. That was bull. But anyway, back to Dylan Dennis. Hilarious. Oh my God, I've never laughed harder. I have not laughed harder. I was like, I had to put the fight companion on I'll be right back or whatever. Cause I was like, and I was just watching every video everyone was sending me because a bunch of my friends were at this event. Dude, everyone was sending me, all my boys there were sending me their own videos. Like, dude, I'm on this side, I'm over here. And I'm like, holy crap, dude. Come on, man. And then, who's it, Chonko? Chonko just like the rights up to the back of the head. I was like, get him, boy.
You can't be hitting people from behind.
Like, no, you can't be doing that. But here's the thing. Again, he's so just irritating and disliked that no one cared that he got his butt whipped, right? And the guy that got his ass is what it is. But end of the day, it's hilarious, and I do not care. I hope he didn't get too badly hurt, but it is hilarious that in front of everybody, he looked like a punk, and he got punked. Now, as far as the Russians go, let's just forget who was there. Don't worry about it. It's all good. I didn't see nobody. Who's Chonko there? Who? No, I didn't see nobody, dude. That's not nothing.
All right, Eddie, we do got to move on to John Kavanaugh. I know that we had something by Cageside Press, a quote that was put up on our Instagram page. Basically, John was saying that Conor's back in the gym. He's coming and doing some morning workouts, which does not mean that he's there every morning. But he's expressing faith in his former champion lifeblood of his gym, somebody who gets guys, they want to come in and get trained by John Kavanagh because he was the trainer for Conor McGregor. So you take this with a grain of salt, but he says that McGregor is going to make a comeback here in the next 6 to 7 months. And then he's been looking good in camp. Eddie, we haven't been the most optimistic in terms of Conor McGregor recently, but what stock do you put in his return moving forward?
0 till he steps in there. I'm not a believer in Conor at all. Every time he talks about coming back, his pinky hurts, his toe hurts, or he gets arrested, or he's on some certain list of drugs and stuff like that. Like he's gonna have to step in there to show me he actually is in there. I never ever buy anybody's things like, oh, I found God, I found Jesus, now I'm all healed. Okay, so you went through all this stuff, all of it, and out of nowhere, you're finding religion. Okay, hey, great. Like, it helps a lot of people. Good for you. Do your thing. That being said, not this guy. Hell no, not this guy. I do not believe a word Conor will ever say ever. Right? And so I'm ready to get back in there. I want to be the best. No, dude, get in there then. So I'm not. Everyone's gonna be all hyped about. I'm not getting hyped at all about this until he gets into the cage, regardless of where the fight is. Just gets in there and actually fights somebody. Because look, you and I both want Conor McGregor to fight. The MMA world is better when Conor McGregor is fighting and fighting consistently. Okay, we are not about to wait another 3 years for this guy to decide he wants to fight. So if he's really doing this thing, he's really training and doing this thing, absolutely, hell yeah, let's go. Bring Conor back, hype us up.
Here's my thing, and here's the reason I don't believe John Kavanagh. Because if Conor McGregor was on the top of his game after Saturday night, there would have been the easiest call out of his life against Islam Makhachev. Fighting at 170 pounds, the only weight class that he can make, the former nemesis, Khabib Nurmagomedov in the corner. What's the best way you could come out here and say that you're the GOAT still? Going and being the triple champion, beating your former nemesis's protege, knocking him out in front of him, taking his belt, and
then calling him out.
This guy doesn't even have the sack to call him out on Twitter anymore. His confidence is shot. It's gone. It's not there. Conor McGregor 2-3 years ago, before the Dustin Poirier fights, before the injury, before the knockout, would have been beating down the door to fight Islam Makhachev. Come Saturday night after the fight and Sunday morning, he would have made it about him on Twitter, deleted some tweets, put out some voice notes. You know how Conor does. But if Conor McGregor was as confident as he was a couple years ago when he was at the top of his game, he'd have called out Islam Makhachev after last weekend.
So here's the thing. I would not be surprised if Conor's doing like a social media, taking himself away from social media to get ready for this fight, right? If that's what happens, then it makes sense, right? But you're right. The call out is right there. That is the guy. In fact, that's the fight you should come back to, right? Islam already said, like, I want to fight in White House and whatever. That is the fight. You laid it out perfectly. It's the best WWE storyline we can come up with, okay? Fight the protege and very close friend, brother of Khabib Nurmagomedov. Beat him, and then look it over at the corner and be like, I want you, Khabib. I want you. The story writes itself. As the first ever
triple champion in sports history.
It writes itself. It writes itself, and it's perfect, and it's beautiful, but I do not believe we're going to get that. I do not believe it.
And why is this guy? That's the thing. He has to know this too. McGregor has to know this. And after seeing what Islam did to Jack, he can't think that he probably has the greatest chance of beating Islam. But I just don't understand. Even if he didn't think he was going to beat him stylistically, he knew going into Khabib, if he gets to the floor, like, he knows what's probably going to happen. But he still called him out and acted in thought that he could go in there and have a chance of winning. I don't know if he even thinks he has a chance of winning against Islam, because I think if he did, he'd have called him out last week.
Maybe. I mean, you're right, right? And you probably don't want to come back to that fight, right, if you're not confident, completely confident, like the delusional confidence that he used to have. He don't have that no more.
But my thing is, I don't know if
you can't fake it
to get there.
Ooh, you can't be who?
I said I don't think he can beat anybody in the rankings to get to an Islam Makhachev.
Ooh. Well, hopefully he can, man, because that's what he's gonna have to do. I mean, you could fight Chandler, but Chandler ain't fought forever, so he beats. At this point, if Conor doesn't, just destroy Chandler in a fight, it's embarrassing.
But look, this is the guys he's fighting. We talked whole show about welterweight. He's got Ian Gary, Shavkat, Carlos Prates. All these dudes are up there, man. He ain't touching one of those dudes at 170. He's got to fight Islam if he wants to come back right out the gate, like you're saying, at the White House. And I don't understand why we're not getting the call-outs for it. But, maybe he just doesn't think he can get the job done.
Conor is not a guy who beats people before they get in the cage anymore. That's not a thing anymore. Eddie Alvarez fell for that, right? Chad Mendes fell for that. Aldo fell for that, right? Guys that get beaten up here before the fight even happens. Conor that do no more. We saw him get knocked out. We saw him get tapped out, right? And we saw him break his little leg. And then he hurt his pinky toe and didn't fight Michael Chandler, which is a weird one. But regardless, he doesn't have the invincibility anymore. So now you're right. He comes back. If they did some dumbass shit, they put him against Prates in any fight whatsoever, Prates is gonna come in with a freaking cigarette, going like, "Yeah, I'll take care of this guy in the round. I'll be right back," and he would do it. Yeah. He would absolutely do it.
Absolutely. But for McGregor, that's the fight that I want to see him come back to. Is Islam? Me foot was 3 times the size.
Me foot was a balloon. It was a balloon.
But Eddie, there was some news from Dana White. He said that Francis Ngannou and him didn't necessarily have the best business discussions when Francis was up.
I saw
UFC banner stating that he was pissed off. He didn't get 50,000 in his last fight. Grabbed Dana by the shirt collar. Does this surprise you at all?
No, not at all. Not at all. And okay, here's the reason it doesn't surprise me. When I first heard of it, I was like, hey man, video or that shit didn't happen. I know the security cameras over the UFC. All right. You definitely have video of this thing. There's no way you don't. Right. However, I forgot the guy's name. Ant Evans, I think it is. He actually worked for the UFC for a while. He came out saying like, no, I believe it. And he didn't give any.
Francis was a bully, basically.
He said Francis was a bully. So I believe it. I believe it. That being said, if you're going to try and use that to get me to feel bad for Dana White, you tripping. Like, okay, the biggest physical bullied the biggest bully in MMA? Okay.
He didn't, though. That's the thing. He made him go to the PFL, and he got not – he didn't give him what he wanted. It's basically – I think that Francis, in my opinion, pissed Dana off, and Dana just went scorched earth on him and said, fuck you, fuck that. I'm going to take my heavyweight title. If Ciryl Gane beats you, I'm going to make you embarrassed and devalue your stock. And if you beat Ciryl Gane, I ain't giving you the big matchups, and I'm going to let you walk. So Dana ended up hating Francis Ngannou so much, he just took his ball and went home.
He hurt his own he hurt his own product. Okay. So do I believe it happened? Yes. Do I feel bad for Dana? Not even a freaking little bit. I do not care. I do not care. Oh, he grabbed Hunter Campbell by his collar. Okay. So what, dude? How many times have you or Hunter called somebody back, take this fight or I'm stripping you a title, or take this fight or I'm cutting you, or you're injured? Shit, you better show up.
You're a pussy.
Right? That's what I'm saying. Like you're not going to get me to feel bad for Dana White or Hunter Campbell or any of these people because that happened. Now, as just like a regular, if you did it to the regular people at UFC, by the way, people that work for the UFC are some of the best people I've ever met.
Yep.
A lot of them are. Okay. 100%. If he did that to those kind of people, that's fucked. 100% screwed up. All right. And he does not belong in there or even at PFL. But now, you know what, though? That kind of tells us a little bit about why he didn't fight for PFL for so long. He hasn't fought for them again.
Yeah, this guy's got to be like one of the hardest people to work.
Can you imagine Don going, hey, Francis, hey, buddy, are you gonna fight for us? Are you gonna fight for us? I'm gonna go box. Okay, pal. That's great, buddy. That's right, pal.
Jake too.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Right. It's all right, pal. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, yeah, go box and then let me know when you're ready. We'll do it on your time, no problem. Yeah. 3 years later.
All right, Eddie, we got a fight night card from the Middle East that we got to get into, headlined by 155-pound ranked fighters Arman Tsarukyan and Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker is someone who's been around this sport for a long time, but Arman Tsarukyan is one of the hottest prospects we have right now, and somebody who thinks that he can legitimately challenge Islam Makhachev. When Makhachev was at 155 pounds, now Makhachev up at 170. This division is wide open for Arman to potentially go in and challenge Ilia Topuria, who's up there in the pound-for-pound rankings as well and is a two-weight world champion. That's the fight that I want to see. I think that is the toughest matchup currently for Ilia Topuria at 155 pounds. But he's got to get past Dan Hooker, who is always game. You see the fights with Dustin Poirier, the brawls he's been in with the past. Put together a couple of wins here to get I don't think this is a number one contender's opportunity for Dan, but with a win for Arman, I think that he is in that situation to potentially be next in line for that title if he can finish Dan Hooker.
Yeah, no, if Arman beats it, like Arman all has to do is finish him. And I think he can. I have a hard time saying will because Dan Hooker's such a tough bastard, right? If Dan Hooker's hands aren't broken, he'll scrap with anybody, right? But he breaks his hands all the time. And I think the shoulder issue too. But in terms of Arman Tsarukyan, 100%, right? I mean, if he doesn't wrestle with what's her name again? With the influencer girl? If he doesn't wrestle with her, There you go. If he doesn't wrestle with her and fuck his back up, he would already fought Islam. And I think that would have been a great fight. That would have been an amazing fight. Yeah. And 100%. I love Dan Hooker. Dude is so much fun to watch. But he's another Cowboy Cerrone. He's another Cowboy Cerrone. Just scraps. Doesn't really. I mean, he game plans, but he doesn't really stick to the game plan very much. He's just a fun scrapper who probably won't ever fight for a title. But I think he knows that. I think he knows
he's a tough dude, and if you let him hang around, he's got good cardio and he can turn a fight around on you, especially if you empty out the gas tank trying to get him out of there in the first round. Yeah. But like you said with Cowboy Cerrone, he is a slow starter, and he can get put out of there. The fight that comes to mind right now is Arnold Allen, who was able to TKO him there in the first round when they fought. Obviously, he's moved up a weight class. Then I think that with his frame, 6 foot tall, obviously the weight is better at 155 than 145. Sure. But Arman has quick hands. He knocked out Beneil Dariush. He's very good on the feet. Do I think he could knock out Dan Hooker? Probably not. I think he tries to get this fight to the ground and win by submission. And that's what I'm going to take him this weekend, Eddie. I'm going to take Arman Tsarukyan by submission in round 3.
If Arman wants a title shot, he's going to go for the knockout. But a finish is a finish. You get him. I think it'll be on the ground as well. Take him down, beat him up on the either TKO on the ground or submission. I think is what happens. But it's going to be all right, I'm going to strike with this guy for a little bit, and oh shit, that hurt. Take his ass down.
Yeah, I think it could be an entertaining fight between a striker and a grappler. But obviously Arman is more than just a grappler. But when we look at the odds here, minus 550 for Tsarukyan, plus 375 for Dan Hooker. So a big underdog is Dan Hooker this weekend if you want to bet on him. Moving on down the card here, Eddie, we've been talking about the welterweight division all show here. Ian Gary is going to take on former champion Belal Muhammad in what could be a number 1 contenders matchup at 170 pounds. We have Michael Morales and Carlos Prates, who impressed last weekend. But these guys are household names. They've been at the top of this ranking for a very long time. And for Ian Gary, if he can get past Belal Muhammad, he's already beaten Carlos Prates. So maybe he would be next in line for welterweight gold here. I'm going to take Ian Gary in this one by decision, Eddie. I think that Belal's going to have a tough time getting him to the ground. I think that Ian's going to rack up a lot of volume at distance with the jab and the leg kicks. And if this fight does get to the clinch against the cage, I think that Ian Gary is physically strong enough to maybe reverse him against the fence and get some of that control time himself. I like Ian Gary in this one. I just think that he's beaten guys like Carlos Prates. He's gone the distance with guys like Shavkat Rakhmonov. He's a tough guy who takes on challenges and is very long. And for Belal, I don't think he's fought a guy at 6'3" in this weight class. So I'm going to take Ian Gary in this one by points.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one. That makes sense. Now I know he's look, Ian's already coming out saying, I'm going to knock this guy out. I'm going to knock this guy out. And if he does, he might jump skip the line. Get right to a title shot with Islam. You know, it would only make sense if he knocks out Belal Muhammad, right? Ian's more entertaining. He's a lot of fun on the feet. He's got attributes that Islam's going to have to get past, and he already has all the popularity he can want. It's a perfect matchup. All he has to do is knock out a guy who said he had Canelo hands, but he doesn't. But knock out a guy who's hard to knock out. So it's a huge challenge for Ian Gary, but he's one of those guys that I think is so good up here. He'll find a way to do it. So I'm gonna take him at his word. I'm gonna say Ian Gary knockout, like 3rd round.
We both have Ian Gary this weekend. You can get him money line minus 270 if you like Ian Gary to win this fight. Belal Muhammad, the former champion.
Oh, dude, Bilal's got to be. No wonder Bilal's mad.
Plus 220. Yeah.
I didn't know he was an underdog. Damn.
Oh,
no wonder he's mad. He big mad.
I think that the odds makers are really putting in a lot of stock to the size of Ian Gary. I think that he's going to be a hard guy to get down. Like we talked about with Morales, he's a good athlete. So is Ian Gary. Ian Gary's a guy who'd probably be a receiver in the an NFL tight end or something like that if he was born in America. So for Ian Gary, I think that this is the fight that he needs to make a statement to become a title challenger. And if he does become a title challenger, Eddie, he's somebody who can carry an interview. He can carry media days and press conferences alongside Islam Makhachev. Maybe have a really, really big pay-per-view that fight fans can get behind.
Paramount Plus would love that to happen. So,
Perles says that this could be a snooze fest, but one of the fights that's not going to be a snooze fest is Volkan Oezdemir and Alonzo Menefield. I think this one's ended by knockout one way or the other. I'm interested to see which way you have it, Eddie. But I'll say this. I think Volkan Oezdemir has fought the best competition that there is in the sport, right? He's challenged for the title against Daniel Cormier. He's beaten Johnny Walker, who has looked good, recently and just picked up a win. So he's got good wins, and he's fought good comp. Alonzo Menefield, I've seen him chinned by Carlos Olberg. I've seen him shy away a little bit from guys who hit super hard, right? So Alonzo Benefield, can he get you out of there himself? Is he a tremendous athlete? Absolutely. He's very explosive, has a big left hand from southpaw. But I've got Volkan Oezdemir in this one. I think he's got that one-punch power. And also I think he's fought just – there's nothing that Benefield has that Volkan, in my opinion, hasn't seen before.
100%. You're 100% spot on. And Alonzo's going to try and make it boring because that's what he needs to do. Everyone saw how DC beat him. He's going to try and do it. But 1 second. All right, I'm breaking the internet, folks. The fourth wall. What's up?
What are these things for?
Buddy, that's a question you got to save for after I'm done with the show.
Yeah.
All right, bud. Sorry, folks. I'm also a full-time dad. Anyway, no time Volkan. Yeah, dude, Volkan is he's when he gets in rhythm. By the way, he's been gone for a minute, right? He had a kid. He opened up a gym, so he's been busy doing his thing, but also been training his ass off. So I could see him coming in do something crazy. But Zoe's gonna try to make this boring, 100%, and it ain't gonna work. If Alonzo tries to make it boring, he's getting knocked out. So his best chance is to trade with no time and land something. We've seen Volkan get knocked out, so it could happen.
Yeah, I mean, in Volkan's last 2 wins, last 3 fights, Johnny Walker, Carlos Ulberg, Bogan Guskov. Bogan Guskov and Johnny Walker just got big wins, and everybody thinks that they're really good and talented people. I think that Volkan Oezdemir has beaten people better than Alonzo Benefield in recently. So, fight fans, I like Volkan Oezdemir. I'm going to take him in by knockout in this one. Let's go round 2. He could get him out of there in round 1, 2. The guy doesn't waste time. It's in his nickname, no time. But I think he's going to get Alonzo out of there by knockout.
I got him by knockout too. At the very least, like a scrappy decision, they go to war or whatever.
Yeah. Eddie, but moving on down the card here, we have a welterweight matchup between Jack Hermansson, who we're happy to see back in the cage after he suffered a knockout loss to Gregory Rodrigues that was devastating at 185 pounds. He will be testing his luck down at 170 pounds against Mayatek Orlabai, who is a very tough customer. We've seen him in very, rough and tough matchups with Mateusz Rebecki, I believe he went to war with. That was a fight of the year contender last year. And Eddie, he's good on the ground. He's got big power. Here's the thing. If Jack Hermansson was a one-punch knockout guy, I think that he would have a chance with Orlabai because I don't think Orlabai is going to submit Jack because he's so good. But Jack fights from the outside. He tries to dance. He tries to do what he did against RoboCop. And honestly, Orlabai is a welterweight version of RoboCop. He's very good on the ground. He comes forward, he stalks you down, and he's got big punching power in his hands. So I don't know. For Jack, I think he's going to have a size advantage being 6'1". I'm interested to see what shape and what the confidence looks like and what the chin looks like after suffering that knockout last time. But I got to lean towards Orlabai in this one, even though Jack's moving down to 170. And we've seen some guys improve moving down in weight before.
Going down to 170 from 185, taking a few losses and everything, feels like a desperate move. And when it's a desperate move, it's not really done in a smart way, if that makes any sense. Meanwhile, Orlbai's been at 170 for who knows how long. You coming to my house, bro. I know you're coming down. I ain't afraid of your size. I'm going to mess you up. Orlbai, dude. Orlbai, I would say decision, honestly.
Yeah, I think he's going to use some grappling as well. I'll go Orlbai by decision as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Eddie, we got a heavyweight matchup with very interesting odds. The veteran Sergey Spivak comes into this one as a betting underdog, plus 135 versus Shamil Gaziev, who was finished by Jair Rosenstrike before he was cut by the UFC. But for me, Eddie, Sergey Spivak's beat Derek Lewis. We know what he brings to the table. He comes in, tries to get fights to the floor. Gaziev is a big man, 6'4", 260, 65 pounds. He might be hard to get to the ground, but I got to take the experience of Spivak in this one. He's fought Tybura. He's fought Derek Lewis. He has big wins. I got to take the polar bear in this one. I'm going to go decision Sergey Spivak. I think he finds a way to get Gaziev to the floor. If it stays standing, maybe Gaziev can win a decision by out-voluming him on the feet. I think he is the better striker, but I don't see either one of these guys knocking each other out. I don't think they're that type of strikers. Gaziev has some knockout wins on his record, but I think that has to do a lot to his physical size rather than the punching power or technical skill.
No, 100%. I think Gaziev is one of those guys who survives fights, right? He gets through them and everything. Sometimes he gets lucky and wins. But this is going to be a tough matchup for Spivak because of the size. And he's not going to be able to bully Shamil like he's bullied other fighters, right? And I know Derek Lewis is huge, way bigger than Spivak and heavier too. But we're talking a guy that's a little like just a little bit taller than right, not in height than Spivak. So it's going to be one of those things where he's going to have to get past the stockiness of Gaziev, But I don't see how Spivak doesn't win this fight. Honestly, I think he should be able to get this fight down, and even if he just beats him up on the ground and everything, it'll be decision win probably for Spivak. I wish I could tell you guys I thought it was going to be exciting. I don't think so. Who's the favorite?
So this is Gaziev -120, Spivak +115. So it's the closest fight on the card, and Spivak is the betting underdog slightly.
No shit.
Last 2 wins for Gaziev were Thomas Peters and Dontel Mays. Dontel Mays he went to decision with. Dontel Mays, in my all credit, all respect for Dontel Mays, he's not an elite level fighter at the heavyweight division or in the UFC. So you're going to decision with Dontel Mays. I have to think Sergey Spivak would finish Dontel Mays.
Dontel Mays is like a GFL level fighter. I'm joking. He's like a PFL guy. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't see how Spivak doesn't win this fight personally. Yeah. You know what I mean?
We're both taking Spivak in this one as a betting underdog. So if you guys want to wager some money this weekend, there is money to be made on the veteran, the polar bear, Sergey Spivak. Another fight that we have to talk about is the return of former flyweight title challenger Kyoji Horiguchi and bantamweight Bellator champion. I believe he was a champion over there in Ryzen as well. Put together some good wins here to get back into the UFC, 34-5. His last losses did come against Sergio Pettis and Patchy Mix, but since then he went back to Japan and returned and getting 3 to 4 wins there. I think he had one no contest as well that turned back a win. But for Tagiru and Bekov, he's a big guy, right? He was fighting at 135 pounds, now back down at 125 pounds, 5'7" at this weight class. He does well on the outside. He's got sneaky submissions, the anaconda chokes and stuff as people come in on takedowns. He's wrapped up a few of those Darces in the past as well. I think that I'm going to take Tagiru and Bekov in this one by decision. I think he's going to be a little bit longer on the feet. And I think that, if it does hit the ground, he's got the frame, and I think he's going to be able to control Kyoji Horiguchi if it gets to the floor. We saw Patchy Mix control Horiguchi backpack style on the ground. I think that Tagiru could probably do a similar situation himself.
I agree with you. And this one's going to be, Tagiru's length and, ability to control a fight and they take where it goes against the speed, quickness, and power of Horiguchi. Horiguchi's a small guy, but he packs a ton of power, and he's quick, and he's fast. So it's going to be interesting to see if Tagiru can deal with that. If he can, should be a pretty boring three-round decision for Tagiru. If he can, he's going to get peppered to shit while we wait to see what happens with Horiguchi. But Horiguchi is going to kick the shit out of those lead legs, hopefully. I think that's the way to go. Kick the legs, make Tagiru into a wrestler only, and if you can stop the takedowns, it'll help your cause.
Yep, and for Horiguchi, he comes into this matchup as a betting underdog plus 165. So, I mean, he's a veteran and as experienced as anybody we have in the mixed martial arts.
And he's a gamer.
World right now. Yeah, he is. So if I'm betting against Tagiru and Bekov, I'm going to be clenching my teeth in this one because Horiguchi is, like you said, he's very game and he's a tough guy. So also on this card, Eddie, is there any other fight that we should briefly touch on? We got the return of Nick Dalby. Luke, a couple guys are making debuts here this weekend, Eddie. Luke Riley, Saeed that's a wild one. I'm going to have
where is it? Did I miss it?
And Saiga Zamayev and Abdul.
Where the hell is where's Sean Bitter when you need him? God damn, he would fucking know how to say this thing.
We got a lot of Russians debuting this weekend. And
we're in
very good. So,
oh man,
Shamrock is
this one. This is the one. This is the one. Shamrock, Nurul Aliyev. Shamrock making his UFC debut. Not afraid of anybody. He's been begging to fight somebody. He can't wait to fight somebody. Finally getting his debut here. Shout out to Patrick McCory, and Mike Owens. Mike Owens just talked to Shamrock and his gym over. Mike Owens, the newest member of Cageside Press. Sorry, folks, forgot to clear that up here. But he just talked to Shamrock at his gym a few days ago. That's up on YouTube. Go check that out. It will be it's interesting to see Shamrock in the UFC. He had a lot of success in Octagon. He looked really good everywhere he's been. He's looked amazing, world beater type. Trains with Paddy Pimblett and all those guys. So he's got credentials and everything. So I'm just excited to see his debut. Aliyev is going to be a tough matchup, but Shamrock's game for anybody, dude. And Shamrock's a whole package. He can fight, he can talk, he can promote. That guy could carry a presser if he wanted to. He can do all kinds of stuff. If Shamrock can live up to his potential in the UFC, we're talking superstar. If he can't, then that could have been. But either way, this is the fight I'm looking forward to. Honestly, this is the fight I'm looking forward to the most.
Second fight on the card.
That's the one I want to see the most in this whole card.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. I want to see I believe in Shamrock. I want to see if he makes me a profit here.
All right, fight fans, that's what we got for you this week. We will come back next Wednesday at 7:00 to bring you any instant news.
Real quick.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, LFA 223 Friday night from Niagara Falls, New York at the Seneca Niagara Resort and Casino. I think I said that like a million times because I did 3 interviews already, and I said that shit a ton. So there you go. I have that shit like down. Luis Francis Kinelli against Jonathan Piersma. Luis is a 6'6", 170er. I spoke to him a couple of days ago. This man started his career at 125. Can you imagine being Demetrius Johnson and you doing this shit the whole time?
Was he fed as a child?
I know, right? Like, it was crazy. So, great kickboxer, well-rounded. But when you guys see him on Friday night, and damn sure tune in, especially if you have Fight Pass, because it's on Fight Pass. Tune in and watch this guy. He's tall, he's long, but his demeanor, dude, nicest guy ever. Watch my interview on YouTube, please. It's on there. It was a couple days ago. Just check it out. Or go on our Instagram. There's a clip on there. Nicest guy ever. Then he steps in that motherfucker, and he changes completely. It is the crazy. Now it's one of the coolest transformations you see from outside the cage to inside the cage. But the dude has everything you want in a fighter. All right, and the UFC is absolutely watching this fight. He gets this by knocking. He finishes this fight on Friday night. Make your shot at calm, 100%.
All right, you heard it there from Eddie. He's always got the breaking news there from the LFA and anything you guys need. Also, Gable Stevenson, I believe, is going to return in the APFC sometime in November. Where is that? Is that in Minnesota, Eddie?
I want to say it is. Give me 2 seconds. I'll find out for you. Gable Stevenson. I always call him Stevenson for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That makes more sense. Olympic Gable, opponent for second MMA fight booked at APFC 21. That will be November 23rd in Albuquerque.
Albuquerque, New Mexico. So, Dame, is that close to you?
I'm not going. Fuck that.
All right.
Hey, I'll say this. I know I'm going to piss everybody off in New Mexico. All right. But why are y'all there?
I've never been to New Mexico.
Don't go. It's not worth it. I'm joking. Great chili and great barbecue in Santa Fe. I love Santa Fe.
All right, fight fans. We will be back next weekend bringing you any instant news and breaking analysis from the UFC Fight Night card over in the Middle East, and then also previewing Fight Night cards that are coming up across the MMA landscape. Next Wednesday, we'll be here. Thanks for joining us.
Fire Jonathan Gannon. He's trash.